Serious. What conspiracy theory has a high chance of being true? Asterisk asterisk attention. Serious. Tag notice asterisk asterisk asterisk. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted. https www.reddit.com/r/askreddit/wiki_-wiki_rule_6- in asterisk any asterisk comment, parent or child, asterisk parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Asterisk report comments that violate these rules, posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. Asterisk I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to E=R@Reddit. If you have any questions or concerns. Asterisk the 1975 dismissal of the then Australian Prime Minister, Gough Whitlam, by the Governor-General, was actually a British-American-backed CIA coup, in order to prevent the nationalization of Australia's mining sector. There's a very high chance that a nuclear test took place by Israel and South Africa in 1979 and that the United States covered it up for political reasons. The same people moderate all the largest subreddits. I've posted this before. I'm still sure this isn't a case of we wouldn't be that clever. New, original Coke. https en.monsieurwikipedia.org/wiki/new_coke #conspiracy_theories. Apparently American Coca-Cola was made with sugar up until the 80s, but they wanted to change to a cheaper ingredient known as HFCS. Not wanting to make the change and have people in an uproar over the change in taste, Coca-Cola made New Coke, which tasted completely different, which did indeed cause criticize Monsieur. The sneaky part is they said, yep, New Coke is a failure. Here's your beloved original Coca-Cola back, except now that Coca-Cola is made with the cheaper HFCS and tastes different to original sugar Coke, but still better than New Coke. Worldwide pedophile rings and their involvement in Epstein's murder. I'm not talking about the adrenochrome shit. That's just made up bullshit. I believe that Epstein was murdered to cover up larger pedophile rings. Imagine this. You have a deal to expose all your clients and have at least a little bit less strict prison sentence in exchange. And then you just hang yourself in your cell when you have no way of knowing that the cameras are out. When no guards control your cell the way they should. Seems like there are too many coincidences in this one for it to be just a random suicide. I saw some autopsy photos. Discussed the matter with my dad, who is an ex-cop who saw a couple of suicide victims, both saving them from the nooses and on the table, and he said that he had never seen anyone with strangling marks in the middle of their neck that wasn't a murder, since most hanging suicide victims have the marks right under their chin. If Epstein survived and still gave out the list, it could have had a couple of added names, but there are pretty big chances that some of his clients might have been involved in other pedophile rings, much larger than what his ring. Shit just doesn't add up. Can't believe nobody has said this already. I am somewhat suspicious of the Martin Luther King Jr. assassination. On August 5, 1952, a car came to pick up Samira Musa in Berkeley, California. The driver opened the door for the world-renowned scientist, who was the first ever female Egyptian nuclear scientist. The 35-year-old was the first woman to earn a doctorate in atomic radiation and the first woman to hold a teaching post at Cairo University thanks to her groundbreaking PhD in atomic radiation in the 1940s. Musa sat in the back seat as they left the city and headed along the California coast. She had completed her research and was preparing to return to Egypt, but she had received an invitation for a dinner. Driving along the curved cliffs of the Pacific coast, the car suddenly swerved and plummeted 40 feet over the edge. killing her immediately. The driver jumped from the car just before the fall and later disappeared, and the invitation she received to California turned out to be fake. The death of the brilliant young physicist is shrouded in mystery. While no one knows for sure what happened, some suspect that was targeted by Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, to prevent Egypt from acquiring knowledge of nuclear technology, though it has never claimed responsibility. Edit. This is not the first incident from that type. Ramadan was head of the National Radiation Observatory Network at the Egyptian Nuclear and Radiological Regulatory Authority. Egyptian ambassador to Morocco Ashraf Ibrahim said Ramadan felt sick during the conference and went to his room shortly after arriving to his room in a hotel in the tourist area of Agdal. Ramadan felt a severe health disorder and called room service to ask for medical assistance. However, he died upon arriving to a private clinic. The public prosecutor in the Moroccan city of Marrakesh ordered the autopsy of the body to know the real reasons leading to his death. The Egyptian ambassador to Morocco explained that the embassy is following up with the Moroccan authorities since the death of Ramadan and will pursue procedures to return his body home. Medical sources said that Ramadan felt stomach cramps before heading to the clinic where he died, and directed blood samples to a medical laboratory in Casablanca to see if the death was caused by poisoning. The Egyptian expert had previously participated in official meetings with Arab environment ministers in 2014, and was tasked, along with other experts, in 2015, to study the potential effects of the nuclear reactors Bushehr in Iran and Dimona in Israel. The autopsy said that Ramadan died of a heart stroke. However, many observers the probability that the Egyptian scientist has been assassinated by the Israeli Mossad is very strong. In 2018, a new book written by Israeli investigative journalist Ronen Bergman titled Rise and Kill First: The Secret History of Israel's Targeted Assassinations was released. In the book, he referred to the Israeli assassination apparatus as the most robust streamlined assassination machine in history. In fact, nuclear scientists, in particular, are a real threat to Israel. For a country that is currently in a state of nuclear ambiguity, that is, its possible possession of nuclear weapons has yet not been made clear, it would be dangerous to have an Arab neighbor with the same kind of weaponry removed. That the reason there are so many ridiculous and outlandish conspiracy theories is to discredit any potentially correct conspiracy theories. That the term conspiracy theorist was coined by the CIA to make a mockery of people who put facts together out of loop of mainstream media to say what was happening behind the scenes. That turned into flat earthers, reptilian royals and whatever else falling under the same umbrella, obscuring the public perception of theorists. Many theories proved true. CIA funneling drugs into the USA. But they fall under the umbrella as moon landing fake, so people don't really pay attention. Certain governments are actively working against environmental legislation because their countries have access rights to resources buried under the Arctic that they want to exploit once the ice caps melt. If the Illuminati exist, it most likely to be very rich people who are not widely known. So no celebrities or politicians. Faceless power with no consequences for the members. JFK was assassinated by the CIA for wanting to disband them and end the Cold War. Amelia Earhart didn't crash. She was shot down by the Japanese because she was taking spy photos for the US government. The timeline and geography makes sense. And other aviators of the time were approached with similar missions. The lottery is designed to catch time travelers. The lost cosmonauts. Subjects of the conspiracy theory alleging that Soviet cosmonauts went to outer space before Yuri Gagarin, but their existence has never been publicly acknowledged by either the Soviet or Russian space authorities. that Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson are Michael Jackson's actual parents. https://an-american-scheme/comments/fj&2ql/an_scheme_scheme_youtube_channel/ That's why he was the talent in the Jackson family and why there were rumors that he was Evan Ross's father. They both look like Diana. Smokey would have been 18 and Diana 14 years old when Michael was born, so Berry Gordy arranged to have the kid given to his old boxing buddy and fellow musician from Chicago, Joe Jackson, who he would fund, leading to the formation of the Jackson 5. Joe had a big family where Michael would get everything he needs while training him to be an entertainer, and Motown could protect their image by taking the child out of the picture. It turns out the kid is a talent, and as we all know, the Jackson 5 make it to Motown. But even before that, there were several documented instances of Diana Ross in Gary, Indiana, such as at the school talent show where the Jackson 5 performed. She has said multiple times on live television that Kale is her baby child, says she's doing it all for him, and joked about him playing her son in a future movie. She has also said publicly she was in love with Smokey Robinson growing up, living on the same street as him in Detroit, which is odd because he had a girlfriend during that time who he later married. Diana also changed high schools around the time Michael was conceived. When she would have gotten pregnant, she was going to Cass Tech to study home economics, and Smokey also enrolled in an engineering college around this time, because they were soon to be parents and Motown hadn't broke big yet. A decade later, the Jackson 5 auditioned for Motown in Detroit, then did a second performance at a Motown get-together at Berry's house. And Michael has stated that at that point Diana told them she wanted to take special interest in their career. There's a movie called Double Platinum which stars Diana Ross and is about how she gave up her kid for her career and later reveals to the kid she's her mother when she sees that the kid has talent, then goes on to help her with her career, which would parallel the real-life story with Michael. Her daughter in the movie also wears a dress that has the same design as the shirt Michael wore for Billie Jean at Motown 25. It's written by Michael in his autobiography Moonwalk that he and the Jacksons lived with Diana Ross in Hollywood Hills when the Jackson 5 first signed to Motown and moved to L.A. And her and Michael used to go out almost every day. Just the two of them. This year, this would have been when Diana Ross revealed to Michael she's his mom. He would have been about 10 years old, and that's why he became quiet and shy from then on. This wouldn't be her only time doing this. When she had a daughter with Berry Gordy, she didn't tell her who her father was until she was 13. Smokey Robinson also stated when he was leaving the Larry King interview shortly after Michael passed away that one of his fondest memories of Michael was when he used to go golfing at the age of 10 or 11 with him and Bobby Taylor, who is said to have discovered the Jackson 5 even though their first album at Motown was presented by Diana Ross. This was also what Michael meant in the song Billie Jean when "This happened much too soon. She called me to her room." Diana was the one who said, "I am the one. But the kid is not my son." She meant, "I am your mother but you're not my son. You're a Jackson now." Diana Ross's Billie Jean. Diana plays a character called Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues, which came out a few years before The Wiz with MJ. This is also what the song Dirty Diana is about. It's about Diana Ross, the groupie who seduces Smokey Robinson, who she grew up on the same street as, conceiving Michael. Then there's the song Who Is It, which is about a mystery person who abandoned Michael. And in the music video he holds a card that says Diana. The song Wannabe Startin' Something also talks about how if you can't feed your baby, then don't have a baby, and again refers to the mystery Billie Jean character. He references Ain't No Mountain High Enough in the song Leave Me Alone and says don't you come walkin' beggin' back, mama. He also references Ain't No Mountain High Enough in the songs Baby Be Mine, Speechless, and Keep the Faith. This is all also why you see a weird sexual dynamic between Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, but you will never actually see a picture or video of them making out. Recently a video surfaced of Diana Ross singing You Are Not Alone to Katherine Jackson, just like how she probably used to sing Ain't No Mountain High Enough to Michael when he was living with her. This is seen in the aforementioned movie Double Platinum as well. Diana sings her lost daughter to sleep with a famous song, and in TMZ's video, The Last Time We Saw Joe Jackson, an old senile Joe says, I raised Michael. He's my son and Quincy Jones knows better. I don't talk about it? No way. He's defending the supposed fact that Michael is his son for a seemingly unknown reason. And even in past interviews he always emphasized he's a Jackson. After MJ's death, Joe, when interviewed, said he was doing great. Meanwhile, Smokey Robinson went on the Larry King Show and praised MJ as an artist. This theory explains why Michael not only looks like Diana Ross, http://imager.com/gallery/ubiquube2do, and has the same features, http://imager.com/a/hdlaser5, and eyes as her, https://u2.be/lwdf66guerra, but also explains why his facial structure looks like Smokey's, http://imager.com/gallery/ilzajfh, and their profiles and ears are completely identical, http://imager.com/gallery/rn6vfhd, and why he was a musical prodigy who had the stage presence and songwriting abilities of his real parents. Diana, Smokey and Michael are the only three musicians besides the Beatles who have 2 stars each on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one for being a member of their original groups and one to celebrate their success as a solo artist, as well as having a very soft voice, which both Smokey and Diana and Evan Ross have in common. Here, http://imager.com/gallery/6lamb, you can see how much different his eyes looked from his brothers and how much they look like Ross' eyes. Now you can see why his personality developed the way it did. It's why he acted like an orphan and called himself Peter Pan and built Neverland to help disadvantaged kids. Why he isolated himself from his family and could never manage to have a normal relationship with women. It absolutely explains why he had such a severe identity crisis. And it explains why Diana Ross is second to Katherine Jackson in his will regarding who would take care of his children. And why Joe Jackson has been known to dislike Diana Ross. At Michael Jackson's public memorial, the first person that comes out is Smokey Robinson reading a letter from Diana Ross, who writes that she's mourning so hard that she cannot attend the memorial and that Michael was part of the fabric of her life. When Smokey speaks about MJ later, he calls him his little brother, which would imply blood relative. In the movie Hitsville, USA, The Making of Motown, Berry Gordy jokes with Smokey about how some of the babies that the groupies were having were his in. That MJ reminded him of a little Smokey. Also, the movie An American Dream was about the Jackson 5 and would have been propaganda to reinforce the cover-up story. So, it wasn't that Michael was ever trying to look like Diana Ross like people thought. He was actually displaying features and mannerisms that he inherited from her. In one of the clips below, she says he has the same feature, skin tone, and bone structure as her. Now you might say, well, Janet looks a lot like MJ. But growing up in his shadow, she adopted many of his mannerisms and used makeup and plastic surgery to replicate his appearance, like LaToya did. But their vanity was merely deception. Joe and Barry branded and marketed the Jacksons a certain way to make Michael seem related, such as with the matching outfits and afros. But if you look at their features, it's clear the only similarity to Michael is the way they smile. a learned trait. MJ has much more defined features and is real thin like Diana Ross. And his nose and chin. https imager.com/gallery/prolus. Match Smokies. Now it's clear why Joe told him he had a fat nose and single him out so much with the abuse. MJ does a photo shoot with Catherine, Joe, Diana, and Smokey. http imager.com/gallery/pivecube. Diana Ross calls MJ her child. Says she's doing it all for him. https u2.be/7qowst2bdx8. Skip to 1556. Diana Ross jokes about Michael Jackson playing her son in a movie. https://u2.b/fr9rz74w4u. The intro downplays her role in starting his career. An important part of the cover-up. Diana Ross confesses her relationship with Smokey Robinson, which would have been when MJ was conceived and when Smokey was dating Claudette. https u2.be/y4c1g. Skip to 840. Diana Ross jokes about her and MJ having the same facial features and bone structure. He could be part of my family. https u2.b/jl6twjt4k6k. Diana Ross calls Michael Jackson her baby. https u2.be/jimfkawiv70. Smokey Robinson recounts how MJ used to go golfing with him and Bobby Taylor as a kid. https u2.be/fc3gslgu8 ya. Evan Ross says MJ was like a brother to him and that Diana was a mother figure to Michael. https u2.be/siegesOgia. Joe Jackson defends the fact that Michael is his son when confronted by paparazzi. https u2.be/lxjvwuf2vbm. Smokey Robinson reads Diana Ross's letter at the beginning of Michael Jackson's memorial. https u2.be/tilesofdic6cg. This theory is from a YouTube channel called An American Scheme. https www.youtube.com/playlist. List equals plyrvf7iungdeu15ifdhh2olyopxpg6 petagrams. I also created a subreddit with further info on the topic called An American Scheme. https www.reddit. That CIA or something similar asks these questions every month on Reddit to see if people have caught on to the Monsieur. Deleted.